What's going on, everybody? I hope everyone's having a fantastic evening, afternoon, pre-noon, no matter where you are in the world. I'm Hassan Piker, and this is the HASAN broadcast coming to you live from sunny California, Los Angeles, folks. We're live and alive. There's a weather alert in effect. It's sunny, but also not so great here. Windy and also fiery California, Los Angeles, folks. We're live and alive, and I hope all the boys, girls, and MBs are having a fantastic one, because today's a beautiful day. Today's a wonderful day. Today is a very special day. This is the part of the broadcast where I tell you about my personal news, about what's going on in the world of Hassan Piker, in between the time period where I press the stop streaming button and press the start streaming button. And yesterday I pressed that stop streaming button a lot earlier than I normally do. I ended the broadcast early yesterday after doing an hour. This is like a unique moment. I normally never end the broadcast after an hour, but I had to, because I was not only incredibly tired, drugged up, but also on top of that was in a tremendous amount of pain. I hit up my dentist. I was like, yo, dentist, doc, things are not looking too great over here. Okay. I'm bleeding out. What the hell is going on? I slept for a couple hours. After I ended the broadcast, I went upstairs and immediately went to bed because I was in so much pain. And afterwards, I called the doc up. Austin was complaining the entire time, of course. He showed up and he was like, well, I came early because I thought you would be streaming. He was upset that I was in my bedroom sleeping, trying to let the pain subside. In any case, I woke up, called the doc. Doc said, yeah, it's all good. All you need to do is hit that double Advil, single Tylenol cocktail, and you'll be fine. And that's precisely what I did. And actually, it's been feeling pretty good. I've been feeling a lot better today as well. Drugs are never the answer, bud. They are for me. But yeah, I did the drug cocktail. The bleeding is still like, there's a little bit of baby bleeding. It's not a big deal, but I'm not off the perky. I didn't take the perky because I was scared that I would become a drug addict, because I have very addictive personality. So I never want to take them perkies unless it's like unimaginable pain, like tremendous pain, where it's like clearly the over-the-counter stuff's not working. I don't want to be perked up. I don't want to be a perked up shouty. I don't want to be like ninja off the perk. I don't want that for my life. I don't want that for myself. Shot the podcast last night. We had Jason the Ween in the building. Jason the Ween came through, clutched up, really good. We have a banger podcast for you guys coming out on Monday as always. But aside from that, I went to bed last night, woke up this morning, walked Kaya around, because there's like limited amount of activity that I can engage in due to the situation with the fires. So that's it. That's all I got in terms of personal news. I had a Hollywood meeting that I was supposed to have with a dude. I'm not gonna say which movies he's worked on. He's wanted to work with me for some time now, and apparently he had to evacuate, so we had to cancel that meeting this morning. But other than that, I've just been kicking back, trying to recover and do everything in my power. Don't forget your latest collab. Why was this AI on my Twitter? Wait, what? I think people need to eliminate AI in its entirety. What the hell are people doing? In any case, that's it. I'm here. I'm ready to go. I'm live. I'm alive. And we got a lot going on. We got a lot going on in the world. Hassan Piker Oscar win? Never. I will never win an Oscar. Bro, you good? I'm not the best. I'm still in pain, but it's nowhere near as bad. It's nowhere near as bad as it was. Overall, it's better than yesterday. So it'll be all right. Oh, mayahiga went viral. I did not realize drinking a hot beverage when you're cold actually makes you warmer physically. I thought people just like hot drinks because of the vibe. That's awesome. What the fuck? Y'all, this is embarrassing. Please stop. I understand it now. I'm the founder and executive director of a conservation education nonprofit. By the way, go follow Alvea Sanctuary. Yeah, that's a crazy way to promote your sanctuary after going viral on the timeline for not knowing like basic things. What's it like doing adult stuff like dance and stuff in the middle of a natural disaster? I don't think people understand. Los Angeles is ginormous, and it's really interesting because like, while on the one hand you got like massive places where a lot of people live are being evacuated, like if you are in the middle of the city like I am, there's basically nothing. Like it's as though it's not happening at all. And it's really interesting. Like I said, like the trash got picked up. You know what I mean? LA is so ginormous that on the one hand, you can have a part of Los Angeles like completely on fire. There are so many other parts of LA that are just actively working. The only issue for us at this point, if you're in an area that's not supposed to be evacuated, is obviously the smoke and the air quality. But even that, depending on depending on how the wind patterns work, even that could be not as bad. Bro, I live in Texas and I have friends abroad asking if I'm okay. Yeah, it's kind of funny. Especially Europeans don't understand how large America is in general, but they certainly don't understand how large Los Angeles is either. But it's extra funny when they go, oh, dude, what's up with the, what's going on right now with where you're at? You could be in like Texas and people will be like, yo, chill. But right now, my air quality is moderate. It's not that bad. HASAN, I'm in Pasadena. The air is poison. Yeah, the air is not good
the fire emergency in California.
in areas where there's obviously still active fires happening, where they're like working to try to suppress and contain. Someone was arrested, yeah, under suspicion of arson. The person arrested was not accused of arson. That's interesting. You know, everyone is looking for a million different reasons. Like there is one of the many different fires could have potentially started by arson. I'm not going to make that assertion immediately without seeing some serious evidence. You know what I mean? Yeah. This is homeless man with flamethrower suspicion of arson near LA's Kenneth fire after residents detain him. Yeah, but that's New York Post, chatter. That's New York Post saying it. KTLA saying man detained near Kenneth fire, not accused of arson. I probably trust local news over New York Post, which is a dish rag propaganda outlet, but we'll look at both. Independent says arson. Okay, Jay Mershon. Update to Los Angeles arson investigation. LAPD says after interviewing the suspect last night, there was not enough probable cause to arrest a man for arson. He was arrested on felony probation violation. The investigation continues. This is the latest update. If the Los Angeles Police Department is saying that like there's not enough evidence to suggest arson, then I'm not discounting that it is arson. That arson may have played a role in one of these fires or whatever. But I'm gonna need some evidence before I make this assertion. Ultimately, the ignition source doesn't explain anything about the conditions conducive to historical wildfires. If you want the actual scientific understanding of why this was even possible. I mean, I covered it extensively. It's the Santa Ana winds and the way that they operate. It's the extremely dry, supposedly wet season that has gotten historically low amounts of rain. Normally, in this time frame, you're not supposed to have wildfire season. Like wildfire season will extend into like November sometimes, but then this is the time frame where rains are supposed to happen, or at least some rain is supposed to happen. So there's a little bit more moisture, except it has yet to happen, which is why this winter has been particularly dry, which is why when it's dry, you have more fuel. It's also because of the Santa Ana winds. Yeah, I know. I'll be saying something on stream and like a second later, a chatter will repeat it. Like straight up. Are you regretting logging on? No, because I do actually feel the need to cover the news, especially when there's a lot of attention on this particular story. It's happening in my backyard. And also, not only is this a major news story, but there's a lot of people that are utilizing this major news story to push whatever their own personal interests are, push whatever their own agenda is. And it's gotten to a point where I think a lot of people simply use whatever major news story is happening to redirect the attention, basically just push whatever marginalized group they hate. Like whatever group that they hate, that they despise, they make it out to be the villain. And considering that this story is related to climate change, which doesn't have like immediate tangible associations where you can't just like look at it and go, oh, this is A to B. Climate change caused this. It creates opportunities for opportunists to lie in whichever direction that they want to. If you hate black people, you say, oh, they're looting, which is something that has taken place. If you saw on Twitter, there were people that were talking about how like black people were looting, and it was actually a video from local news filming black residents actually taking out their valuable items from their houses before they caught on fire. You're looking at a situation where like these are people suffering, and you go, yeah, this is a great opportunity for me to do some racial agitation. If you are angry and resentful about the existence of gay people, you look at the situation and say, oh, well, the fire department chief is actually a lesbian. So the reason why this is happening is because of DEI. If you hate the Democratic Party, you say, oh, it's Karen Bass who like personally lit the fires, basically. It's just, sometimes it's a combination of a lot of different factors. But of course, as is the case always, many of the factors that the Republicans point to are ridiculous. And some of the factors that liberal treatlerites point to are also ridiculous. I'm gay is true. We love arson. Nice. Now the number of casualties is up to 10. The number of structures is in the thousands that have been burned down. You know, you have iconic landmarks, cultural landmarks that have now burned to the ground. And you have thousands of homes, thousands of places where people just lived. They're gone. 10,000 structures at this point. It's one of the most devastating wildfires. Will have the costliest economic penalty. There are obviously some mitigation factors that were not implemented, but overall, everyone is trying to point the finger of blame at whatever they see is the real responsible parties. What landmarks? I've only heard of houses. Yeah. One of the houses in Altadena is one that my mom actually used in her dissertation that has a famous Orientalist interior architecture. It burned down. I think there was a couple different, like you got libraries and stuff that were burned down. The Pasadena Library, or not Pasadena, Pacific Palisades Library burned down. Here, the Newsweek has a full list of his iconic landmarks destroyed in LA by the California fires. The Bunny Museum, Andrew McNally House is the house I'm talking about, which is so sad. Real Inn, Pearson Playhouse, Palisades Charter High School. It was a fully functioning high school. Topanga Ranch Motel, Will Rogers Ranch House. Yeah, the Will Rogers Estate. Yeah. And also, as all of this is being burned into the ground, you have the likes of Poly Market taking bets on the Palisades fire in California because we live in a horrible reality, a false reality. We are in a complete dystopia, but also lame. It's not just like a regular old dystopia. It's also not cool. Like, it doesn't have all the fixings of a cool dystopia. It's just like regular old lame dystopia. I thought it was criminal for bandits to loot and raid homes that are impacted by the wildfires. Why are bandits trying to loot the Palisades? Why can't we stop bandits from loitering and looting? What are you talking about, brother? I have a lot of friends who have relatives who live in the Pacific Palisades and they're reported bandits trying to steal and rob everything inside. Are these bandits insane, bro? I don't know what you're talking about, brother. I don't know. Like, do you see what the Palisades look like? Like, what are you talking about? You're making it seem like they're doing a WoW raid. These bandits, they're in the tree line, sir. Man, just look at the footage. There ain't nothing inside that rubble. Yeah, like Pacific Palisades is like an extra crazy place to say that this is actually what's going on. Like, I'm sure there might be some people, there might be some insane people that are like, oh, hell yeah, it's time to like raid this Rust base. But I don't understand. You're saying loitering and looting. I don't know what you mean by loitering and looting. Are you saying that people are loitering as in like they're just hanging out around the ash that once used to be a house? Like, what are you saying? Are they stealing the ash? I thought it was criminal for bandits to loot and raid homes that are impacted by the wildfires. Why aren't the cops doing anything? My relatives in the Pacific Palisades home got raided 2 days ago. What is your Pacific Palisade home standing? I don't understand. Because 75% of the houses burned to a crisp. Not sure why you pretend to be dumb as fuck. It's obvious what they wrote. I mean, they are. Why are you playing dumb? Because why would I entertain the fantasies of random people in a situation where 75% of the houses have been burned to the ground? And you're over here talking about how like there is a massive looting problem. A lot of this stuff is just people is people communicating through whisper networks where there are pre-existing fears of this sort of thing happening. Are they hitting the 25% that's remaining? Is that what's going on? That's all he wrote. I'm just stating what's happening. Okay, now you're playing dumb. I understand what that person is saying. And I'm addressing that the likelihood of this becoming like a major problem is fairly low. People forget that 18 million people live in Los Angeles. And if you're arresting, like, let's say you arrested 20 people out of 18 million people, if they arrested like 10 people on suspicion of looting and like 10 people who were actually looting, I guess, the remaining 25% of the homes that are standing in the Pacific Palisades, do you understand how unimaginably minuscule this problem is, and it's being overextended as though it's like a ginormous problem? It's being deliberately talked about. It is a self-referential cycle that the media engages in with regular frequency, where they overextend and exaggerate the problem of looting that's happening in any sort of crises in an effort to ensure that police budgets stay high. Ironically enough, we can have a conversation right now about how high the police budgets are and how that actually works directly against the existing fire department budgets that need to go up in a place where there are wildfires, and the wildfires are going to continue to get worse and worse as a consequence of climate change. But many of you are so quick to hit that reactionary talking point, to be like, what are the cops doing? There's looting happening all over the place. And without recognizing, unironically, playing along with the same incompetence of the Karen Bass administration that you want to criticize. There's so many more important things to discuss here. And there are people being like, yeah, the DEI lesbian fire chief, that's the reason why it happened. Or there's looting happening. Why aren't you talking about the looting? Why are you secretly hiding the looting? Like, as though it's a good thing. No, dude, it's not a good thing, okay? And I'm not saying that it doesn't happen ever, okay? But in a major city like this, having like 1 or 2 incidents such as this one, and then a whole bunch of suspicion is not necessarily the smartest way to go about it. That's it.